Hi, welcome to the orientation of the Debating Society for the tenure 2023 to 24. We are going to take you through what the society looks like, what initiatives we take, what skill development we have to offer for you, and basically what a recruitment process looks like. Next slide, please. So, first of all, addressing who are we and what does the society look like. We are a pioneer in invoking meaningful conversations and healthy discourse. We offer knowledge development, skill development, and basically a wider opportunity for public speaking experience for all the members of the society. We have a legacy of 50 plus years with esteemed alumni in the top companies and top universities around the world. Our society functions in a structure with a faculty in charge uh, as well as second and first year members in the society. This structure helps us essentially gain guidance through our faculty advisor in matters related to the college, but also have complete autonomy in organizing events so we can get a better, well rounded, holistic experience about event organizing, basically organizing debates, taking participation in tournaments, etc. With that, over to Aditya.
Thank you, Saksham. Saksham talked about our 50 years legacy. That legacy includes our very prominent alumni network, which has individuals ranging from wide backgrounds and doing very well in different walks of life. You can see late Shri Arun Jaitley, former Finance Minister of India, Navtej Sarna, former High Commissioner of India to the United Kingdom, and Rakesh Om Prakash Mehra, a very renowned filmmaker on your screen. All of these alumni, along with multiple others, have done very well in both in terms of their institutions in which they went for higher education as well as the corporates where they were placed. Next slide, please. Yeah, here you can see the institutions where some of our alumni have been selected for their higher education. This includes the very prestigious LSE, Wharton, Yale, Stanford, and like the most everyone loves it, the Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry. On your left, you can see the various companies where our alumni have been placed. These include all the major consulting firms: MBB, McKinsey and Company, BNBCG, Kearney, World Bank, and many others. The reason for our alumni is such a resounding success is that we provide you a very holistic understanding and development of different range of fields instead of just restricting you to either consultancy or finance. So instead of just learning about these core issues or core niche domains, we give you an opportunity to engage with topics from multiple themes, be it international relations, be it social movements, be it philosophy, and other themes like this. What this does is to allow you to have a working knowledge of different domains, and so that you can able to better interact with, even in like the recruitment process or placement process, you are able to stand out of all other peers by having a working knowledge of such a vast number of domains in both GTs and PIs of these placement procedure. So yeah, and it's obviously a spike in your CV. Corporates love it. And for all these reasons, our alumni have done so well in your past. Next slide, please. Yeah, but all this happens after you leave this college in the first place. But what happens while you are a member of the debating society for these 2 to 3 years? While you are a part of our society, we will regularly take you to domestic as well as national and international tournaments. And in the last 12 months alone, the SRCC English Debating Society has got 150 plus credentials at both national and international level. These are some of the best and most renowned tournaments like IIM Ahmedabad, IIT Delhi Parliamentary Debate, and on the international level, the Uhuru Worlds, Xavier's Cup, Monash Online Debate Australia, and multiple other such tournaments. We hope that you will carry forward this legacy and bring many more laurels to our English Debating Society. Next slide.
You don't get to be a tier 1 society in this college without organizing some of the greatest events our college has ever seen. As far as our flagship events are concerned, we have 6 major events that the DebSoc organizes on a yearly basis. They include Crossfire, Gambit, Pre-Asian British Parliamentary Debate, which is actually going to be organized from the 8th to the 10th of this month. We also have the Sri Ram Debating Festival, along with the late Sri Arun Jaitley Memorial Debate as well. Each of these debating tournaments and events would be further talked about by my later speakers. Next slide, please. Gambit, the Freshers' Annual Parliamentary Debate. This is essentially India's largest freshers debate in the country, which has a history of hosting around 65 plus teams in the past. This is most likely going to be your first insight into what Asian parliamentary debate is actually all about, and we hope that this turns out to be as big of a success as it always is. Moving on to my next speaker.
Shriram Pre-ABP. So as my speaker said, that it is being organized from 8 to 10 September this month. First of all, DEPSOC SRCC is very proud of the fact that we were the first DEPSOC to bring Shriram Pre-ABP to the Delhi University circuit. Pre-ABP is held before the actual ABP to give a very good experience to all the debaters that are taking part. This year, SR Pre-ABP has a stellar ADS score consisting of 3 ABP CAP members and a WDC 22 DCA member. Pre-ABP promises you to offer a diverse global audience with the participation of 400 plus debaters and adjudicators across the globe. And it is the largest British parliamentary debate tournament in the Delhi University circuit. Next slide, please. Crossfire. It is the annual school stone code debate, which witnesses a footfall of 200 plus high schoolers from over 50 plus schools pan-India. And its latest edition was completed in September 2022. And keeping up with our policy of accessible debating for everyone, we ensure that this event does not have any participation fees. Next slide, please.
Right. So the Sriram Debating Festival. The Sriram Debating Festival is one of our most prestigious events which we conduct. It consists of three main events. That is the group discussion, the Renegade, which is the Dawn Code debate, and the 3v3 legacy debate. Just like something for you guys to ponder upon and like understand the grounds on which DEPSOC SRCC functions. This guy right here in the black sweatshirt is a lawyer in the Supreme Court of India. So this is not just limited to college level debating. This is very, very high stakes and something which we are again very proud of. The next up is Arun Jaitley Memorial Debate. We guys, as the previous batch, had the wonderful opportunity to host the inaugural edition of the Arun Jaitley Memorial Debate. We also had the privilege and the honor of hosting the Honorable Vice President of India to give out all of the awards for this. Again, something which we are very proud of, and we hope to just grow bigger from here. This is again conducted in the legacy of a very dear alumni, the late Honorable Finance Minister of India, Arun Jaitley ji. And yeah, again, it's an event which is very dear to our hearts. Next up is Rahats, the fundraiser debate. So not only does the debating society give you knowledge about like debating in general and like the larger processes around it, not only does it help you develop these thinking level, analytical level skills, but it also helps you guys generate social impact. And like this is again something which you're very proud of. So we conduct this event, Rahat, along with the debating societies of SVC and SBS. This time, Rahat generated a total amount of 1.6 lakhs, which we donated to two NGOs, which we are again very proud of. Again, something which is very close to our hearts. We are very happy that we can actually generate social impact while being a part of such a good society. Again, this is something which not a lot of societies are able to deliver. So not only do we give you analytical level skills, not only do we give you guys the exposure which is required, the international exposure which is required, but we also give you this social setup which is much needed. The next speaker, please. Right. Again, that's me. I'm so sorry. Our training programs. So we understand that you guys might not necessarily understand that what our or what is college level debating, and like what is this entire process. To help you guys better understand this, we have training programs in place. So we guys will teach you what does ABP or what does BPD or what does edging or what does squirreling, knifing, what do all of these jargon terms mean. And also we just don't restrict ourselves in training sessions to like the processes of debating, but we also help you guys develop analytical frameworks for debating. So we might have training sessions on IR, we might have training sessions on how do individual entities and actors behave. And again, something which we're very proud of, that we are able to actually pass on this knowledge, which has again a legacy of 50 years to a new batch. And now finally moving to the next speaker.
Hi, through Sriram Debating Workshop, which is Asia's largest debating workshop, we taught high school students, that is students from classes 9 through 12th, as well as students passed out of 12th and this year onwards, college students as well, the art of Asian parliamentary debating, that is APD. It is a week-long online teaching workshop where we teach the nuances of APD, including interpreting motions, teaching workshops, forming arguments, as well as delivering speeches. We also invite national as well as internationally reputed speakers and debaters to hold knowledge sessions. We also form mentor groups, which are small scale groups with designated mentors to help tackle elements of debating such as case prep, teamwork, etc. We also conduct a mock debate at the end of this week for students to test out the skills that they have acquired throughout the week. Next slide, please. Yeah. So sensitization cultivates empathy, fostering a deeper understanding of diverse perspectives. We at DevSoc SRCC understand that debates can get heated up as different opinions are thrown around. People can tend to stick up to biases. However, debating should be an equitable and safe experience for everyone involved. Due to this, we have conducted various sensitization sessions in the society for the members and members of this debate circuit in general as well, with influential speakers such as Professor Neera Chandoke, Distinguished Fellow at Center for Equity Studies, New Delhi, and former Professor of Pol Sci at University of Delhi, as well as Dr. Satya P. Mohanty, a Distinguished Professor at Cornell University, New York. Next speaker, please.
Okay. Hi. So the obvious question then that you must ask now is that what exactly does the Debating Society of SRCC do that fosters this kind of intellectual thinking and this kind of discourse that we talked about in the last few slides? So for this, we have three types of mechanism. First is tournaments, second is practice mocks, and third is mentor groups. So tournaments being the most integral part of the system. Why? Because debating is a skill-based activity, and in order to test the skill that you have acquired over the training sessions, over the mocks that we do like in-house in the society, it is important to test it out in tournaments, and that is where this tournament comes. So we can do tournaments on the domestic, national, and international levels. It can be both online and offline, and it can be like taken part in according to your convenience. Second is practice mocks. So in order to be prepared for the tournaments, the most important aspect of it is to practice as much as you can. So for that, we have a mock mandate. We have a regular weekly and bi-weekly mocks that you can enroll in, and we can have a debate in various parts of the college. And ultimately, we basically understand this art of debating with practice, and then you can excel really well in the tournaments itself. And third, and the most exciting part of the society structure is the mentor groups. For that, can you move to the next slide, please? Yeah. So mentor groups, as I said, the most exciting part of the society. Once the induction is completed, students will be distributed amongst the cabinet members according to their interest groups. And then finally, we have various kind of jamming sessions, buddy groups, training activities, both formal and informal activities, where we can discuss multiple issues ranging from motion discussions, from discussions related to themes like IR, feminism, and other things, as well as informal discussions that you as students and you as people of the society want to have about various things. And it actually fosters a very healthy environment in the society as a whole. Next speaker, please.
Research is something that's very crucial to what we do at a debating society SRCC. In debates, you would be required to talk about different topics ranging from international relations, politics, criminal law and justice, feminism, or even pop culture. At that point, in-depth knowledge in all these topics is something that is very much required and pertinent to what you do. So that's where research comes in. Research helps you to build this in-depth knowledge. And how are we able to provide you the opportunity to research in depths of SRCC? Firstly, we'll be conducting knowledge sessions where we'll be trying to conduct a normal session between like 5 to 6 people and just sharing the knowledge that we gain in a week, or just talking about things, discussing about different topics, whatever is something that interests you or whatever is something that you're curious about, and then trying to share the knowledge that all of us have. Then resource sharing. We will be sending you lots of resources on various topics and various themes through lots of Google Drives, articles, and any other resources. Lastly, we'll be conducting a plethora of discussions, both formal and informal, to help you apply the knowledge that you have gained in real life, in discussions, and in debates. Next slide, please. Sure, the Debating Society SRCC, what do? We debate. But do we just debate? Definitely not. We do few other things other than debating. Firstly, adjudicating. At the end of the day, after a debate, you have to have one winner in that debate. And how do you decide who won a debate? For that, adjudicating comes in. You have to compare both sides, and how will you compare both sides? On what metrics would you compare both sides, and then decide the verdict, and then decide who the winner was? That's where adjudicating comes in, and we teach you how to decide that verdict. And then we have tabbing. Whenever you're conducting any tournaments, tabbing is something that is very specific and niche to debating tournaments specifically. So tabbing is basically a software-based skill where you would be using softwares like Google Sheets, Microsoft Excel, and TabbyCat in order to organize the tournaments. And then we have equity. Equity is something that Bhavya will take care in detail. But to give you a brief, equity is something that helps you be a better person and be more sensitized about other people in general. With that, Bhavya.
Hi everyone. All right. Talking about equity, we understand that debating as an activity, as a competitive sport, can get heated at times. We understand when teams go ahead and debate further against a motion, it leads to throwing around a very strong words and opinions. And that is where equity comes into play. We aim at creating safe and equitable spaces where everyone can comfortably go ahead and share their views and ideologies. The equity is also something which sets us apart from every other society within Sri Ram College of Commerce, because we're the only society to have a formalized equity committee consisting of 5 WGM members, which is women and gender minorities. The equity committee for this tenure consists of me, Ishani, Amna, Pooja, and Anisha. We also have a proper grievance redressal mechanism as well as an equity policy in place. Now, what will equity mean for you as juniors? That it'll be two things. Firstly, 50% of our intake is going to be people belonging to WGSM communities. Let me reiterate that for you. WGSM stands for Women, Gender, and Sexual Minorities, because we aim at boosting inclusivity and diversity within a historically male-dominated field, which is debating. Secondly, equity will also play a role in the recruitment process. At all points of time, there will be an equity member present within all panels of the GD or the PI to ensure that you have a great time even while applying to the society. Moving on. So after a proper discussion on what the society does. It's not all formalized activities. I can assure you that DEPSOC SRCC is not just one of the topmost formal societies in this college, but we're also a family. We have great fun behind the scenes as well, whether it be going to other tournaments or hosting tournaments of our own. Moving on. We've told you enough about the debating society as a whole, but why should you then take up the activity of debating? It improves your analytical skills. It enhances critical thinking. It promotes healthy, inclusive, and diverse discourse. It opens up your world. It broadens your perspectives. It allows you to listen to different opinions. It doesn't just make you a better speaker, it also makes you a much better listener. Skills which are very essential in today's day and age. It also helps you network when you go ahead and talk to people and debaters from other colleges at different tournaments. It allows you to gain a greater understanding of what the world then looks like. Handing over to Saksham.
I think the two most received questions that we have been getting throughout the recruitment procedure and after the orientation are what is the growth potential that we pose to get in the society and what we at the debating society are actually looking for when we recruit junior members. Talking about the growth potential, I think debating as an activity not only helps you meticulously express your thoughts which you haven't been able to express or aren't able to put forth in front of a bunch of people in group discussions and interviews and things like that. We think we provide you a more holistic experience because you get greater knowledge on various diverse topics, so you don't hesitate while discussing topics about anything with anyone. Talking about approach to problem solving, every topic you get for a debate is different. The approach you have to take for debating or preparing for your side is different. Therefore, the analytical skills that you pose to get is extremely important in daily life, not just at the debating society, but over and beyond. Socialization and people skills. We think debating tournaments are as much as they are about debating are also about networking, interacting with people, getting opportunities outside of debating in mentoring, educating, tabbing equity. We think debating tournaments and mocks are a great place to actually make friends, have socialization, and get better people skills. We also think that persuasiveness, biases, nuanced opinions come with experience, and taking part in more and more debates actually instill those qualities in you. Opportunities outside debating, as I mentioned earlier, are immense, and you pose to get a much greater growth trajectory in life at the debating society. Next slide, please. What do we actually look for in junior members? Note that having debating experience or having extreme advanced proficiency in English is not a criteria to be selected at the debating society. Some things that we look for are very generalized, something that every person possesses: willingness to learn, having an open mind while in order to receive the knowledge that we at the debating society offer to give you, critical thinking skills and analytical skills. We think during our group discussion and research tasks and interview stages, we pose to give you assignments that actually test your analytical skills and your commitment to actually doing that job. So we think our recruitment procedure is extremely holistic and assesses you in a manner that is not tiring, but is also extremely holistic in assessing you as an individual, you having the willingness to learn and having the commitment needed to excel at the debating society and in life. Next slide, please. Handing over to Shreya.
Hi everyone. Now that we have discussed all aspects of life at the Debating Society SRCC, including internal society activities, participation to external tournaments, and the conducting of various flagship events, we now move on to the part you all have been very excited to know about, the recruitment process at the Debating Society SRCC. We have a 4-stage recruitment procedure at the Debating Society. I will be taking you through all the steps of various recruitment procedure at the Debating Society SRCC. Now coming to the first stage of recruitment at DEPSOC SRCC, application form. The first step of recruitment procedure at the Debating Society is evaluative in nature, which means that the application form will ask the candidates certain basic questions which they'll need to answer to move on to the next stage of the recruitment procedure. The reason why the application form is evaluative at the Debating Society SRCC is simply because we believe that for a holistic assessment of candidate, personal interaction and their own expression is necessary. That is why when we move on to the next stage of the recruitment procedure, that is the group discussion round, we engage in self-expression and we encourage self-expression from all the candidates. The group discussion round is something which we promote at the Debating Society in a more holistic manner, in the sense that all the group discussion panel will consist of an equity team and a member of equity team to ensure a safe and equitable experience for all. Again, reiterating that the group discussion task is eliminative in nature, which means all the candidates which are not fit for the Debating Society will be eliminated in the group discussion round. Now moving on to the third stage of the recruitment procedure. The third stage of the recruitment procedure is the research task. What does this research task round then entail? Research task essentially gives you a glimpse at life at DEPSOC SRCC, which means research task provides you the scope to explore multifaceted fields. In the sense, you get to explore different topics such as economics, feminism, pop culture, art and culture, and you get to research and write about these topics so as to understand various aspects of the Debating Society SRCC. Again, the research task is evaluative in nature, which means that while we encourage candidates to research about these topics, we also want to hear their opinions on these topics, and which is why the last and the fourth stage of the recruitment procedure is the personal interview round. What does this personal interview round entail? The personal interview round is the interaction of the cabinet member of the Debating Society of SRCC and all the applicants who are proceeded to the personal interview round. In the personal interview round, we encourage self-expression and we encourage candidates to lay out their different opinions about life at DEPSOC SRCC, and we also test their knowledge in the research task round so as to assess the suitability of the candidate for the Debating Society SRCC. The application form for the Debating Society SRCC are open now and the applications will close at 5 September 2023. Next slide.
All right, calling upon Saksham to introduce a wonderful cabinet.
Right. So the cabinet of the Debating Society for the tenure 2023 to 24 is in order: Saksham, Aditya, Khushi, Abel, Priyanka, Shreya, Bhavya, Ishani, Kanish, Karthik, and Namakant. Next slide. Following are the QR codes for the WhatsApp group for updates. You can scan and join the WhatsApp group for regular updates regarding the recruitment procedure of the Debating Society, and also the link for the application form. Thank you so much for hearing about our society and showing your interest. We look forward to interacting with you in the further recruitment stages. Thank you so much.